Can you believe it's the end of the year already? 2021 was a weird year that saw some semblance of normalcy start to return, only for that familiar sense of disappointment and dread to settle right back in, just like the Matrix Resurrections. It's whack! But for fighting games, there was some cool stuff that happened in 2021. Guilty Gear Strive got released, older titles like Melty Blood and Skullgirls got new entries or content, the Rollbackian Nation expanded its borders, and the FGC started to make its return back to offline events. But what lies ahead for fighting games and its community in 2022? Well, I gathered a few folks to find out what wishes or resolutions they had for the genre next year to answer just that. And to start things off, my first wish for 2022 is to get this channel to 60,000 subscribers. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon, or I will find you. Now, without further ado, let's hear what some of my friends want for fighting games in 2022.
What's up, guys? It's Jmcrofts. So a lot of amazing stuff happened in fighting games in 2021 for me. One of the biggest things was the spread of rollback netcode. Finally, these Japanese fighting game franchises like Guilty Gear, like Melty Blood, they're coming out new games with rollback on day one. So that is a trend that I'm really excited to see continue in 2022. We're getting DNF Duel, we're getting KOF 15. They're all going to have rollback and hopefully be really amazing to play online. So that's just been a huge deal and one of the most exciting things, looking forward to the future of fighting games. The other thing that has really blown me away and I think is going to continue to improve in 2022 is the content creation. I gotta say, man, I've been doing YouTube for a few years now, but in the last year or two, the level of content in the FGC has upgraded so much. You guys are so creative, so inventive, such entertaining content. I love watching it all, and I know that that's going to continue in 2022. You're honestly making my job hard, man. It's hard to keep up with you guys because you guys are always adapting, so I got to adapt too, and try to keep that YouTube game strong because you guys are definitely getting stronger, all of you out there, so keep that up. And then the third thing, I think this is true for a lot of people, is going to be the return of offline events, at least in a larger scale than it's been the last year or two. We're still not 100% there with the virus situation, but I know that everyone is really excited and hopeful that 2022 is going to be the year that we can kind of start to get things starting back up, start to go back to these tournaments and get that next level of hype that is only available when you're playing against people in person, man. I'm so excited to see all my old friends again and see all my new friends, the people who I've collabed with, who I've played against online in this sort of online only era. All you guys out there, I'm really excited to hang out with all of you in person. It's going to be so hype. So that's definitely the number one thing for me. The heart of the FGC is in offline competition. So I hope that's something we're going to get to have next year. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
What are some wishes and or resolutions that I have for fighting games? Let me pull out the list. But yes, my first wish would definitely be better connection, better like online stable experience for PC and PS4 Tekken. Just bump the online experience for Tekken, and I feel like the fan base would grow even more. My second wish would be hoping to see new tournaments show up on the roster of the already current tournament staples like Final Round, Combo Breaker, Evo, all of that. Hoping to see, along with those tournament titles, new ones be added. I think it would just expand just the community by a lot. It would bring a lot of attention to it, and it would help just in multiple ways. Maybe even bring in new eyes. A resolution I have for 2022 is a competitive one as a player. I want to continue to expand and grow with my play style. Get more top placements, top 8s and top 3s. I definitely want to get more of those. Continue to be kind to myself as a competitor and use my skills to help coach and give like mentorship and like guidance to more people of all ages trying to get into the scene. So that's something else I want to do. And my last wish would be that in 2022, that the passion and drive that the community has held on to doesn't stop. I just want to expand, ignite even more until it just has nothing else left, which is not possible because it's the fighting game community. The passion and drive of the scene will stay forever. Just hoping for even more fire and drive in 2022 to keep the scene growing and evolving like it has been. So these are my wishes.
What would I like to see from fighting games in 2022? Well, I think the most predictable answer would be rollback because, yeah, we need it It's a huge issue now. We have to play online a lot more than offline these days, and we're starting to see it implemented. Of course, that's the go-to. I've been pushing this for God knows how long now, but I think a more interesting answer is seeing fighting game companies learning from other fighting games. I want to see developers learning from other developers and paying attention to the quality of life that we get in different games. There's different features that pop up in individual games that are awesome ideas, and then we never see them again for years. And there's no reason for that. Some of the things that we used to worry about was like, is this game going to have a rematch button at the end of an offline match? You know, like tap to press your buttons. You know, once upon a time, you had to scroll through that list one by one, and it took a while to set your buttons. Now, tap to press to input your button is a much more common thing. Hold start to pause as opposed to tap start to pause, so that you don't just cause a disconnection issue or a major problem in a tournament setting, for example. Now that's becoming more common. So, you know, it takes time to see these things implemented, but those are not the only things. I would love to see fighting games not have issues with legacy stick support from here forward. You know, we've already talked many times about how it's an unfair thing to ask people to invest in a stick, and they're learning the genre, they commit to that level, and then the generation changes, now you got to go buy a new one. That's ridiculous. I feel like it's unfair to ask people to double down on those purchases. I would love to see crossplay be a standard thing. You know, I don't know why we have to look at Power Rangers and say like that's the only example of like all across the board crossplay. You know, not just PS4, PS5, but like everything that it releases to. It's something that can be done. We're seeing the examples of it, and of course that increases the player base. It allows people to not buy a version of the game and feel that like, oh, they picked the wrong one, or they don't even know where the community is, or they can't get any matches. Like, crossplay is a huge thing, and it's already there. Seeing that as a standard thing for fighting games would be awesome. Like, one of my favorite new features has been Accent Core on PC. Accent Core's update allows people to watch a replay and then take over the replay at any point. And that's a brilliant tool for learning. It's more than just smart labbing in the training mode. It lets you put yourself in situations from like high competitive matches or your own replays, and lets you try to escape what was happening to you by practicing, by taking over exactly at the part where you need to try a different option. You know, that could go really far for helping new and experienced players get better at fighting games. I also love seeing modes that are more casual implemented as well, so that like one great example is Them's Fighting Herds is one of the only fighting games that has something like the Salt Mines, a really fun asymmetrical mode where a number of players can all go into an area, mine for salt, fight against specific AI characters while they're mining, and deal with these challenges as you build up until eventually one of the players becomes the bear, and they're a super-powered fighter that can hunt down others and force them into these quick matches where they've got to survive and work as a team against like this big powered up, you know, fighter. It's just a fun extra way to play multiplayer online with people, and I think new players especially would love some more variety with their fighting games. So have fun with it. Things like Street Fighter V's in-game currency, the fight money you build, can actually buy real purchased DLC or costumes that are for sale for the game. You know, I think that's a really player-friendly way to allow people to earn their purchases by just spending time with the game. And in that same line, of course, there's free-to-play, which is something that I think, you know, you can compare it to other genres, but a free-to-play game allows new players who are interested in fighting games, or in this particular fighting game, to try it out, see if they like it, and get hooked, see if they want to keep playing. It opens up the door to so many more players, and this is the type of thing that could go far, especially in combination with all the other things that we talked about today. So that's what I want from fighting games. That's a lot to ask in 1 year, of course, but I really do think that if we started moving in this direction, if we started doing the cool things that, you know, I don't just have to go, hey, go check out Power Rangers for this or Them's Fighting Herds for that. It would be wondrous for fighting games. It would be awesome. I think it would make a huge difference, and I think we'd see a lot of people that might not have been interested sticking around.
Hey everybody, Black Yoshi aka the Button Mash King here. Something I'm looking forward to for upcoming events within the FGC is possible opportunities for creators within the fighting game community to help with the events. Everyone has their favorite FGC social media user, just like everybody has their favorite player and commentator. There's a lot of underground talent within the fighting game community, putting their all in for opportunities, let it be a commentator's blog, an ad created for live streams, online host gigs, and everything under the belt like that. Most are willing to promote, but don't know where exactly to look for startup spots. It can even be at your local. Nothing is a bad start when you're putting in for a community that you love. So I guess I can say that I'd love to see some new faces be more welcome within the community and not shamed as harshly for not being acknowledged as, veterans within the FGC. We're all here to learn and we're all here to grind like everyone else in the venue.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Da Purple Sharpie, but you can call me Sharpie if you recognize me from 5-4 Spiders. I'm just joking. I'm from the Skullgirls community, but it's a pleasure to see you all. Esteban went ahead and asked me what are some of the things I'm most excited for inside of the fighting game community in 2022. I have to say I'm really hoping to see more support for independently made fighting games in 2022. This past year with quarantine has showcased that the fighting game community has a very long way to go when it comes to catching up to other game genres. And I feel as though independently made fighting games are working really hard to bridge that gap. We have games like Tough Love Arena, Them's Fighting Herds, 5-4 Spiders, Punch Planet, and yeah, of course we have Skullgirls. But there are so many independently made fighting games that are working very hard to push the mold of what fighting game standards should be. And I'm really hoping that in 2022, more events take time out of their day to cater to building up those communities. That's it for me anyway.
Hey everybody, what's up and happy holidays. Esteban asked me to jump on here and record something, see if I was interested in saying howdy to everybody. First of all, hope your holidays are going lovely. Second of all, whenever you see this, I hope you are not overstuffed or feeling lovely after your Christmas, and hopefully you got something cool or whatever holiday that you're enjoying, or maybe even you're just sitting at home playing video games. That's cool too. He asked me if there was anything I was going to wish for or hope for as a resolution or something. I'm not really like a resolutions kind of person. I'm like, if I want something to happen, I'm going to try to make it happen, whether it's January 1st or the last day of the year. So that being said, there are a couple of things that I hope happen next year just for fighting games in general. One of them is that I hope I get to see more of you. There wasn't very many events. I mean, for me personally this year, I know some people had some chances to go to a lot of things, but I really went to one event in the last 2 years since COVID, really. So one thing is I hope that next year, hopefully, I mean, we said this the year before, hopefully we can have some safe events and I can see everybody in person who enjoys fighting games. It's honestly really weird to think to me that I've been in the scene for so long and we spent so much time inside. So hopefully next year I can see a lot of you in person. That would be really nice. And another thing is I hope to see more fighting game fans. And I don't just mean fans as in people who love the genre already. People like me who are just obsessive about it and going to spend thousands and thousands of hours. But I hope to see more fighting game fans that are new, trying out the genre. People who maybe have a casual interest, feeling comfortable enjoying it. You don't have to be a super hobbyist and play fighting games and breathe fighting games all the time. There are some of us that exist, but I hope that more people step in and just try the games and are okay just casually observing them from the sidelines. And I hope in general there are more things for all of us to enjoy, whether it be new games coming out, for new fans or for old experienced fans for them to love, whether it be new events happening, new online events, offline events, new content, and new cool things to check out. And I don't want it to just be content for our scene that's really crunched in there and loves this kind of stuff 24 hours a day. Like I said, I hope that there's lots of cool new stuff for everybody in the scene to enjoy. One of the coolest things that's happened since COVID is there's been lots of new content and lots of new ideas that everybody's been trying. So I hope that we still see that happen, but I hope it spreads out and everybody can enjoy it. Whether you're a player, a commentator, a casual fan, a spectator from the side, you run tournament events or something like that, whatever it is, I hope there's something cool for everyone to engage with and enjoy, because even if the stuff that I make is not for you, I hope that somebody else or even you yourself are finding something that you love about the hobby. That being said, happy holidays everybody and have a good one.
For me, next year I want to keep experimenting with content. I've had a lot of fun with recent videos on things like KOF 13's $15 team, or looking at some of the worst matchups in fighting games. And I want to keep exploring those types of ideas further, and maybe even experiment a bit more outside of the fighting game genre, while hopefully not getting evicted from my apartment in the process. As for documentaries, I still have quite a lot in the can for 2022, including features on Maximilian Neo video games and Tough Love Arena. But I also want to do something big again like I did with Killer Instinct, and I have some ideas in mind, including a possible documentary on Marvel 2. Now, Romnito is working on a Marvel 2 doc of their own, and you should definitely go support them and check theirs out when it drops, but I want to also start to explore my own shot at it in 2022. Never hurts to have more Marvel content out there. So those are our wishes and resolutions for 2022. But what about you? Have anything you want to see for fighting games next year? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then.